Alright, so we're going to be checking out Theoreticus Heresy episodes 7 and 8. Now, this has gotten better and better. The only point of contention I have so far is Gilman playing the part of Lorgar. It doesn't really make much sense to me, but like I said, if you guys can come up with something, please explain it. In any case, moving in, let's go.
Upon the world of Aelith, a cabal of various xenos species hatched a plan. They dispatched one of their agents, a human perpetual
John
named
Grammaticus,
to track down the enigmatic Primarch, Alpharis Omegon of the Alpha Legion. His mission was to bring the Primarch to Aelith so that they could enlist his aid to help with events that would affect every single sentient species within the galaxy. John Grammaticus tracked down the Alpha Legion to the world.
John Grammaticus had such a punchable personality, it wasn't even funny. I mean, seriously, the guy was just so annoying in every single book he was in, to the point of just why hasn't this guy been shot yet?
World of
I'm pretty sure he's been shot, but I want him to be shot multiple more times, just saying.
Earth, and through subtlety and deception, found his way to the Primarch to seek his audience. Alpharius, John Grammaticus said, was the only being who could prevent the destruction of the entire galaxy. Alpharius, either out of trust or curiosity, agreed to travel to Aelith with his legion once Nerth was made compliant. The dauntless few made preparations to purge the potential loyalists from their legions. They would send those men to the surface of Istvaan III. Then the world would be virus-bombed, making all life upon the planet extinct. The only potential loyalist who would not be dispatched to the world would be the Ultramarine Sergeant Aeonid Thiel, who, along with his squad, known for insubordination, was under the direct command of Verus Caspian on the frigate Ve Victus. Gilliman had a soft spot for Thiel, and hoped to be able to sway the sergeant to his side, one way or another.
So basically, Thiel is replacing another character from the Death Guard, Nathaniel Garrow. So Mortarion had a sort of I don't know how to coin the relationship, but Mortarion wanted to turn Garrow to his side, but he couldn't. So Theo is apparently praising Garrow, which is nice because they rhyme. Makes it easy to keep track of.
If not, Caspian had orders to terminate him and his men.
Typhus and Caspian.
Rogel Dorn meditated within his chambers. The shard of the Oculus, it transpired, had allowed Dorn to converse with the godly beings within the warp. The gods praised Dorn for the first steps he would take. They showed him visions of the war to come, of fire, blood, screaming, and dying. Rogel Dorn would not win this war with the legions he had at his disposal alone. He would need to grow his forces. He would need to bring more of his brothers into the fold. As his soul floated within the ether, the godly beings faded from his view, and a bright light glowed from the corner of his eye, banishing the darkness and almost blinding the War Master.
Probably Magnus?
As Rogel Dorn turned to face it, he saw an apparition, a figure of pure white light, a spectral horse made from lightning. The horse galloped toward him, and, with the sound of a thunderclap, shifted its form into one that Dorn knew. Jagatai Khan.
Oh, okay.
Khan demanded answers from his brother. why he would betray his father and his people. Rogel Dorn explained what he had learned, but Jagatai Khan refused to believe him. Khan warned Dorn that his actions would damn the souls of not only him, but also his brothers, and the very men who would follow him. The godly beings began to coalesce again, and the bright light began to slowly flicker and die. Jagatai Khan begged his brother to listen to him. Do not go through with this. Do not betray your father, your family. And finally, the light that was Khan's astral projection was snuffed out. On Jagoras, Jagatai Khan awoke from his trance, surrounded by his Stormseers. He demanded for the astropaths to send warning to Terra immediately, but they could not. Warp storms had erupted throughout the Imperium. Astropathic messages would be next to impossible to send or receive. The Khan clenched his fists and in his frustration put his hand for a wall. There was only one chance he had left to warn his father in time. He demanded all of the Stormseers gather and prepare for the inevitable.
Okay, so Jagatai Khan taking the place of Magnus is not exactly something that I... Just, the level of difference between the two is mind-boggling in terms of their psychic potential. I understand that he's using the two to basically go back in the fourth. I understand that, but at the same time, the ability of Jagatai Khan and his Stormseers was nothing compared to that of the Thousand Suns. It'd be like comparing light from a lighter to essentially a searchlight, and so it's a little bit of a stretch, but I understand where he's going with it.
The bombardment of Istvaan III begins. Thousands upon thousands of warheads containing the Life-Eater virus detonate all over the planet. The virus penetrates the power armor of the Astartes on the world, and soon all biological matter on the world, the people, animals, and plants, are turned into puddles of decaying sludge, releasing copious amounts of flammable gas. The Phalanx, flagship of the Imperial Fists, fires a single lance shot into the atmosphere, igniting a tremendous firestorm that would sweep and sterilize the world within a matter of minutes. Upon the frigate, the Victus, Aeonid Thiel of the Ultramarines watched in horror. This was wrong. Their brothers were on that world. Thiel and his men staged a mutiny upon the vessel, resulting in a savage gun battle upon it between his forces and the traitorous forces under the command of Varys Caspian. Through a stroke of luck, an explosion breached the hull of the ship, the resulting vacuum dragging many of the traitorous marines out into the icy void. Thiel and his men quickly capitalized on the situation and took control of the Victus, making a daring escape. The traitorous ships nearby attempted to stop the Victus from escaping, but failed, as the ship made an uncontrolled warp jump into the unknown.
That's always a bad thing.
Guilliman raged upon finding out. Their plans were about to be scuppered. Rogel Dorn contacted Guilliman and informed him that they had a larger problem to deal with. Jagatai Khan, through the psychic powers of his legion's Stormseers, had discovered the plans of the Dauntless Few. Luckily for them at least, The amount of warp storms had made astropathic messages next to impossible to send. But if the Khan knew, then the most powerful psychic amongst the legions, Magnus the Red, would surely know as well. Rogel Dorn ordered Leman Russ and the Space Wolves Legion to make their way to Prospero, and either bring Magnus into the fold, or destroy him and remove a potential threat. The War Master then ordered Guilliman to send emissaries to more of their brothers. They needed more allies if they were to win this war. Rogel Dorn and Ferrus Manus would land their forces and construct a base of operations to prepare for a potential upcoming conflict upon the world of Istvaan III. Upon Prospero's surface, Magnus roared in fury. His sensitive mind could feel the disturbances upon the skin of the warp. But thanks to the custodies who were to accompany him at all times to reinforce his father's edict, he was nearly powerless to act. He knew a storm was coming, and ordered his second-in-command, the former chief librarian, Azek Araman, to evacuate the civilian populace off-world and have Prospero's Spire Guard reinforce the defenses around Tiska.
Okay, so with the Thousand Suns prepared for the Space Wolves, I'd really like to see where he's going to go with this, because I don't think the Space Wolves stood a chance against the Thousand Suns if they had been prepared on Prospero.
Magnus demanded to the custodies to allow him to clarify the disturbances he felt, but was denied time and time again. On Chagoris, the Stormseers gathered. Hundreds of powerful psychers gathered for this one single purpose. They would allow Jagatai Khan to create an astral projection, and thus allow their Primarch to ride the currents of the Empyrean to warn the Emperor directly. As his soul rushed through time and space, he found his path blocked. He raged as he tried to breach the psychic barrier, but he could not.
Yeah, this is the only problem I have with this so
far. His Legion Stormseers augmenting his own preternatural abilities, he could not breach this wall. A voice in his mind offered to grant him a way to break through the barrier.
So he's going to become the
And
Zinchian.
without hesitation, Khan agreed, not knowing the future ramifications of his actions. It's true what they say. The path to ruin and damnation is paved with the best of intentions.
So legitimately, the only issues that I have so far with this is Guilliman's turn, and the way that this has been presented, like Jagatai Khan could actually... It's just not the same thing. I understand where he's going with it. Jagatai Khan being the Zinchian just kind of surprises me. It really does. I'm going to see where this keeps on going. I'm enjoying it so far, but I don't think there would have been a Magnus-like incident that happened if Magnus was to have wound up on the loyalist side of the fence. I don't think there would have been something to that extent. But in any case, I'm enjoying it so far. It's clear he put a lot of thought into this. And like I said, there's only two major problems that I have with it, but the rest of it I like. In any case, I will keep on going with this, and I'll catch you guys next time.